Ladies and gentlemen, children of all. Wait, no, we can't do it that way this week, fellas, because this week is different. We got to do it a little different this week. We got to change it up. We've waited and waited. We sat in the house with masks on and we couldn't breathe. We've been forced to watch tennis with nobody in the stands. We've been forced to see sports canceled time and time again. But fellas, this week, football is back. And you are tuned into your favorite podcast and mine. It's your man, 50 Grand Hadrico. To my right, across the ocean in his house, we have...
You know what it is. It's your boy, Cash, a.k.a. Exec P. Hold on 1 second, Prez. Philly faithful, stand up, baby. We in the building. Toss to you, Prez.
But don't worry, we got one more. He's the presidential candidate. Who is he?
Mr. Prez, Raiders.
Ladies and gentlemen, the DSC couch has turned into the stadium, and we're going to give you everything you need to know about the NFL from DSC.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Fellas, listen, man. Even though we are co-located in different locations, different parts of the world, we all can unite because football is back, baby.
One more day.
Now, we are all representing 3 different teams, but we have to do a service to our listeners. And what we're going to do today, fellas, what I'm going to ask y'all to do, we're going to go over the entire NFL. We're going to go over each division. And what I want from you, we're going to pick who you think the winner's going to be, the bottom feeders of the division, and we're going to highlight just a couple teams. And, of course, we're going to talk about our own teams and how they're going to do. We're going to give some predictions. We're going to say who's going to come out in the NFC championships, AFC championships, Super Bowl teams, and, of course, your Super Bowl winners. Now, I expect us all to have different answers. Some answers may be a little far left than others.
You know that's coming.
So how long are we going to talk about the Raiders? That's all I'm here for.
Very briefly.
We got to at least give about a good 45 minutes.
I'm sure we will all tune off by the time that happens.
Yeah. Oh,
but you know what?
But do I have a stage? Will I have a stage, though?
I will promise you this. We will give you some time to talk about the Raiders, but once you get too far, I will hit the cut it out button.
Hey,
no,
can you
reaction is the action.
Since you'd be an announcer or whatever, I need you to get in that mode too. Can you say it with me one time? Raiders.
Hell no. Hey, so you know what? Let's do this. Since we talk about the Raiders, let's start in the AFC. We won't start off with the Raiders. Let's start off in the AFC East. Gentlemen, you got the Dolphins, you got the Bills, you got the Patriots, and you have the Jets. First off, who do you have winning that division?
Bills.
Want to start this off? You got the Bills?
Yeah,
Perez,
Bills.
let's start with Perez. Who you got?
The Bills. You ain't even much no competition in that conference no more. New England's gone. Miami's rebuilding. The Bills, D came out dominant last year, and it's going to continue to dominate again this year. And then on top of that, they added Stephon Diggs. So, hey, they set on offense. I think they're ready to move and make some, really own that conference or that division.
Cash, would you agree?
Absolutely, absolutely. Defense is lights out. They just got a weapon in Stephon Diggs, like Prez mentioned. Quarterback is getting better. He actually impressed the hell out of me last year with what he was able to do with that team without a really good wide receiving core. So this year, sky's the limit for that young boy.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be many conferences that I think we're going to actually have all 3 of us agree on. But I do think the AFC East now belongs to the Buffalo Bills. What they did is with a young team, they're getting a little bit older. Josh Allen with that big arm now has that big, deep threat. So, therefore, I do think the Bills are going to do it. Now, who's at the bottom? Who is at the bottom team? And I think it's a 2-dog race in most people's eyes. But who's at the bottom? I'm going to start this off. I'm going to say the Jets, bums, the Jets. That's the bottom.
I think it's going to be the Dolphins. I think it's going to be very similar to how we had with the Cardinals last year. The quarterback play was good on the Cardinals, but the rest of the team just wasn't there yet. And I think that's kind of what you're going to have with the Dolphins this time around. Tua is going to be, once he get on that field, he's going to light it up and do his thing. But I don't think they have all the pieces there yet. They're going to be at the bottom.
Cash, you got anything before I jump in?
I'm going to say what y'all just won't say. It's going to be the New England Patriots at 5-11. Listen, most of their best defensive players have called out of work due to COVID. Cam Newton has no weapons on offense.
None.
At some
Cam
point,
don't need no weapon. Cam is the weapon. Go ahead.
No weapon formed against him shall prosper. I get it. But what I'm saying is he ain't look, he's doing exactly the same thing he had to do in Carolina, but worse when you think about it. Like if you really dial it back, because he had the running back that we discussed that I don't really want to get into, Christian McCaffrey. But he didn't really get to do a full season with Christian. But what I'm saying is, like, they just don't have the weapons, man, and you can't expect to get blood out of a turnip, man.
Okay, so this is why I'm a disagree with both of you real quick, and we'll move on. With what you're saying with New England, I can understand, but the reason why I can't say New England be the bottom is because they still have phenomenal coaching. Josh McDaniels did magic with Tim Tebow in Denver. You now give him a better quarterback in Cam Newton. They still have N'Keal Harry, who I think is going to be their fantasy breakout player. You still have a stable of running backs with James White, Sony Michel, and Rex Burkhead. Like, you have to realize that Rex Burkhead was effective. And now they did lose a lot of defensive players. And then on to your point, Perez, the Dolphins now have all the pieces that Coach Flores once had in New England. They came to Miami. So, and they got a lot of pieces from Buffalo, Shaq Lawson, and they got some help on the offensive line. So that's why I think it's going to be the Jets. But it's interesting to see that it's very rare that you find a division that the three other teams are all fighting for the bottom. I don't think we're going to have any other division that we're going to find that be the situation. So the AFC East, they get the trombone award for being the worst division.
I got a question though. Do you think New England? You said talk about their coaching. I think they missing the number one coach on their team, the special teams coach. Like with him gone the head coach now, I don't think they can pull off anything. Their best weapon gone.
Who was that?
Exactly. But he's the head coach now to the Giants.
Okay, we'll see. Enough time in the AFC. Let's get on a plane. Listen? Let's see. Let's roll the wheel of AFC teams. Let's go from the East to the South.
Okay.
AFC South, you have the Jaguars, you have the Colts, you have the Houston Texans, and you have the Tennessee Titans. Now, this division, it seems to be a two-dog race, but you never know. Cash, we're going to let you start this time. Who will win the AFC South and why?
They will be back-to-back AFC South champs, and that's the Houston Texans. They will be 10-6 again because I feel like they got some wrinkles dying out there. They have a brand new wide receiving core. And here's the thing about that. Last year, you had to focus solely on DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I mean? Deshaun had to wait for DeAndre to get, open. But now he has a plethora of options, albeit they're not DeAndre Hopkins. But he now has a running back. If he stays healthy, he now has Cobb. He now has, who else he has? Brandon Cooks, David Johnson. You have more weapons that you have to worry about, which is going to create a more balanced team. And I think moving forward, that'll make them the cream of the crop when it comes to the AFC South.
Okay, Perez, do you agree with Cash, or do you have another choice?
I think it's going to be those Titans. Titans once again going to come out of there. Like, man, I mean, they last year they was a surprise. I don't think they're going to be a surprise. Everybody's going to be prepared. They had good defense. They had a great running game. Now if they just put a little touch on that passing game, I think they may be a overall threat.
Can I jump right back in there? Here's where I think teams are going to force the issue is going to be on their passing game this year, because Derrick Henry did so much last year improving himself. Now that boy's a bad man. Don't get me wrong, but I think that they're going to force the quarterback to beat them. So they're going to go balls to the wall for the running back, and we'll see if he can actually, put together an aerial assault worth a damn. We'll see. So
here's the thing, Cash. They put 10 in the box last year against Derrick Henry, and he still ran the ball all over everybody.
Like I said, he's a beast. I get it, but I think with more film, they may approach it differently.
I think his father may be Optimus Prime. I believe Derrick Henry's father may be Optimus Prime, because that dude was just running. He's humongous. Yeah. I think the Tennessee Titans will still win the division for the simple fact that not because of Derrick Henry, because they made an acquisition maybe a week ago. You had Jeffrey Simmons, who was an amazing young defensive end. You now put Jadeveon Clowney on the opposite end. And you say, well, Jadeveon Clowney, what makes you think he's going to do well? You did the one thing you have to do to defensive pass rushers. You put him on a 1-year deal, which means I got to ball out if I want to get that bigger payday. You put Jadeveon Clowney. Did you see what he did to Seattle's defense in the short period of time that he did?
Oh, I know.
You add him to Mark Vrabel, who's their coach, who's a defensive mind. I believe the Tennessee Titans come back and they still win that division. Deshaun Watson, I agree. He has better weapons, not better weapons. He has more weapons because Brandon Cooks, though he has bounced around, I don't think that he is a bad wide receiver. He just hasn't found his niche in the team because every team that he's bounced on, he's been effective. He was effective with the Saints. He was effective with the Patriots. He was effective with the Rams, and he's going to be effective with the Texans. Health is going to be the biggest issue for the Texans wide receivers corps because all their receivers can't get right when it comes down to health, and that's what holds them back. And that's what's been David Johnson's problem. So with the Houston Texans, they've given him weapons, but all these weapons, when has any of them made it through an entire season?
You're right about that, huh?
Yeah. So that's the problem I see with Houston. With Tennessee, man, that damn Derrick Henry, that boy's a bad man. Now I know one of our viewers, the Foundation, he's a Tennessee Titan fan, kind of bootleggishly, and he had a video that we'll show a little bit later, but he had a viewpoint on it. But I still see Tennessee is going to be the crown jewel of this division. Prez, you had something else you want to add in there?
Well, y'all were just forgetting all about Minshew Mania.
Get the hell out of here.
Oh, so we talking about
bottom feeders.
Okay, so the bottom feeders of the AFC out because they're out. They shouldn't even be in the NFL. I believe the Bishop Gorman Gales could beat them right now.
It's over before it started, man. With those ducks.
Who is going to be the bottom feeders? I think it has to be the Jacksonville swap meet. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they don't like good football players. They just give them away. I've never seen a rebuild process that's built like this.
We don't want talent. We want average. We want to be middle of the road, average.
We're going to develop people. If I'm DJ Chark, I'd be like, man, please trade me. Please trade me immediately. But
all he got to do is go out there and do, if he ball out, they will.
Yeah, you're probably right. If you do well, we'll trade you. Anybody else got anybody else other than the Jaguars at the bottom? Cash, you got anybody else?
No, it's the Jags. That's their spot to keep.
Okay, Perez?
No, it was just Minshew Mania. I mean, he's still going to be exciting to watch, but they ain't going to win shit.
Well, I tell you what, I think that wraps up the South. And if you started from the bottom, now we got to go up to the North. The AFC North, that consists of the Browns, the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Ravens. See how I did that? You thought I was going to do it for you. No, the Ravens. Gentlemen, who's going to win this division and why? It's Perez. Cash went first last time. You went first the time. Before that, it's my turn. Baltimore. Lamar Jackson is a bad boy. If he can just improve his passing skills, which he's already a very decent passer, but if he continue to improve his passing skills, we don't even talk about running. He runs the ball. It really is Michael Vick reminiscing, watching him run, but I believe he actually got more moves than Vic did, and I didn't even think that was possible. When I see some of the stuff he does on the football field, it's spectacular. Now, losing Earl Thomas, they said he was a cancer in the locker room, but he was a virus on the field because he was out there making people sick. So I don't know how they're going to cover from that loss, but their secondary is still going to be good with Peters and Humphreys at the corner. They lost Calais. No, didn't they pick up Calais Campbell? Mm-hmm. They picked up Calais Campbell, which is going to make their pass rush, and he's a great run stopper. Their running backs, Mark Ingram's still there. They still got some other different people. I still think that this thing has to go through Baltimore. They're going to get some pushback for some other teams, but I don't think this is the easy choice. Anybody beg to differ?
No, I think you covered it clearly, man. I have nothing else, man. I got them boys. They're in the teens again, man. I don't want to say 16-0 like somebody else on this podcast, but that's the one team I'm hard pressed to argue against when we're talking about 16-0. But I'm at 14-2 again. I think they'll slip up a few times because people are coming to see those guys. But like you said, man, at defense, it probably fell off a little bit where Earl Thomas going away. But at the same time, man, when have you ever known the Ravens to not play excellent defense despite whoever they got on the field? Yeah, who cares what's on the back of the name of that jersey? You know what I mean? So I think that's a fact. So with that said, man, the sky's the limit for them boys. I think if they don't run into the Titans last year, they're probably the Super Bowl chance because I think they were a better team overall than the Kansas City Chiefs. You can book that.
That's a bold statement. Real quick, Prez, before you hop in, and I don't want to cut you up, I'm definitely give you a moment. I think what the Titans did and this is why the Titans are so dangerous, and I hate to jump back on the Titans. When you run the ball effectively, you control the clock.
Old school mentality.
The clock,
yep.
You keep a guy like Lamar Jackson off the field, you neutralize him. That's how you beat Lamar Jackson. Don't give him the ball.
But that's the only thing that they need to. That's what they need to show up because they got punked last year, and I think they're gonna come back this year with a vengeance. You know what I mean? As far as like they felt disrespected because they. I forget the spread, but they were supposed to blow the Titans out based on what they've done all year. I mean, what the Titans were 9-7 last year.
Yeah, probably so.
You know what I mean? So with that said, man, I think they're gonna come out because they know that Super Bowl could have been theirs. Now, all respect to Kansas City, all respect, but I think if those two teams would have met in the playoffs, it would have went a little differently.
Prez, what you got?
Yeah, I got Baltimore as well. Same thing. Like, there's nothing more to add on that. I ain't gonna keep adding to it. Well, we're gonna talk about the bottom.
Started from the bottom. Now we started at the top. Now we're at the bottom. I don't know how we're gonna do the song backwards.
I think it's gonna be the Steelers. I don't have the faith in them like everybody else got. Big Ben is coming back. I think he was on his downhill slump before. They had the better record when he was gone. So I think with him coming back on the field, it just messes up dynamics again. I just don't see it happening. But we will see. They got a good defense, though. That will be what keeps them in the game. It's not going to be the offense at all.
Oh, boy. You ever go to barbecue, you got that one uncle who just say anything?
Yeah.
That's Prez, y'all. Prez just
put the bottle down. Put the bottle down, Prez.
Look, he be the uncle that be like, hey, go get my Crown Royal bag. He got nothing but coins in there. He wants to do that new dance. And he give you like 50 cents because he think 50 cents still a lot of money. Prez, what are you talking about?
That hot take Prez, man.
Hot takes. Man, you saying the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be worse than the Cincinnati Bengals. That's what you're saying.
Worse than the Browns.
Yes. The Browns actually got a squad.
On paper.
Yeah, on paper. I mean, but we can say that about we're gonna say that about another team coming up here later. But I saved that one.
Ooh, spicy. Everything's spicy.
But I think now they got AJ Green back. They got Mixon. They was already doing damage with Mixon without anybody else on there last year. They were staying with teams, and then they adding Joe Burrow. Like I think they're gonna have that little, how those freshmen quarterbacks come out and there's always one that just come and light it up. I think that's Burrow. The dude he's definitely different the way he thinks and the way he attacks things.
After the show, I'm gonna ask you if you really believe that in your heart.
I don't know. Let's not wait. Let's ask him now. Do you really believe that?
For the sake of time, you think this young man is gonna transition to the pros, and this team wins more than 2 games this year?
It didn't happen for like so many quarterbacks. I'm like I could definitely see the magic happening, continuing on with him.
You know what?
Kyler Murray. You disrespected Kyler Murray last year. Because
why you doing this?
It was garbage time. He was getting garbage time.
Why?
This is exactly what Burrows is gonna get.
No.
Nothing but garbage time.
No
throws.
Cash, why are you doing this? We said
you told me to.
You
told me to. You told me to. You said I want to hear it.
You're right. I apologize.
You asked.
Who's gonna be the bottom? Who is gonna be the bottom of this division?
Man, it's gonna be the Bengals, and that's hands down, no debate. And like, come on, man.
I don't even have nothing to say. You were correct.
No explanation needed.
You're voted off the island. Your time on Survivor has ended.
Hey, y'all, remember this. Remember this when they coming back. They taking back their words later on halfway through the season. Let's go.
Listen, we have a couple of our other viewers who, like I said, we'll definitely play their takes because they had some stuff for you guys, and we'll let y'all hear what they had to say. And there was quite some interesting takes, but hey, everybody has a right to their opinion. And finally, we'll finish up the AFC going out west. That is a division that is owned by the Chiefs.
The Raiders. Go ahead.
They're in a division too. You have the the Broncos, and you have the Chargers. So who is going to win this division? We will let you start, Cash. I will go, and then we will let Prez go.
All right. Absolutely. At 12-4, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. A bit of a letdown as far as a Super Bowl hangover goes, but 12-4 by any means is a great season for any team. But I think, they have a difficult schedule. So as such, they will have some losses there, but I don't see anything going wrong for this team outside of health. Like if their health is top notch, then they should be in the AFC Championship again. Like they're the cream of the crop. There's nothing else that Denver can do. There's nothing else that the Chargers can do, possibly the Raiders, because they've been so bad for so long that you know how this goes. If you're one of the worst teams, 8-8 and stuff like that year after year, you kind of get a decent schedule to kind of rebound because that's what the NFL does. So that's the reason why some people on this podcast think that they're going to go 16-0 or 13-3 or some crazy like that, which if you look at the Raiders schedule, that might be the case. But at the end of the day, the Raiders are going to – the Raiders are – hey, this is
toughest schedule in the NFL. Toughest schedule. No, toughest schedule in the NFL last year, and we finished 7-9.
Okay. So,
with that said, the bottom will be, it won't be the Raiders. It'll be the Chargers. I don't believe in anything with their team. They have a new not a new quarterback.
Von Miller's out.
Yeah, Von Miller's out for the season. I sent that to you earlier. So Broncos may take a dip as well. So I don't know between the Broncos and the Chargers, but I still have to say, with that said, it'll be the Chargers. I think they're the worst team in this division.
So for me, I believe the top team in this division is the Kansas City Chiefs, but I actually have them going 11-5. Believe it or not, I feel like that Super Bowl hangover is going to be, it's more than a Super Bowl hangover. I believe film is out. People are going to be a little better prepared for the Chiefs this year. And I believe people actually have gotten better, even within this division. With the Broncos, Von Miller is getting a second opinion on Thursday to see if he is going to be out for the season. So I won't count that dog out until he's all the way out, but he will miss some time. So that's going to hurt the Broncos, but I still feel like the Broncos have done enough to make themselves a better team. Now, the bottom of this division, I believe, is a 2-dog race, and that 2-dog race is between the Chargers and the Raiders. The reason being is I believe this division would actually be one of the most competitive divisions in football. I believe the bottom of this division is a 7-9, 8-8. I believe these teams are going to win games. So I'm actually giving some credit to
that. I agree with that. I fully agree with.
So when I'm saying the bottom of the division, I'm not saying it in a disrespectful tone. And the only reason I'm saying the Chargers are going to be competitive is for the simple fact that I believe if this is going to be the key factor, if they let Tyrod play, if they pull Tyrod and go with the rookie, it's the Chargers at the bottom, hands down. If they let Tyrod actually get a real shot, I believe Tyrod Taylor is a good quarterback. I believe he's going to be a good quarterback. I believe he's never got a real chance to be a good quarterback in the NFL. So I believe if they actually do that, I believe Tyrod Taylor is going to do well. And I think he can get the Chargers 7-8 wins. The Raiders, okay, please make sure you record this because you won't catch me saying this very often. The Raiders have a very good football team. They have drafted some people who've done well, and they've had some complete misses, i.e. Colin Farrell, miss, i.e. Abrams, I don't know because he hasn't been healthy. Josh Jacobs.
Cleveland Farrell, too. Say the name right.
Correct, whatever. Josh Jacobs was a home run. I did not expect Josh Jacobs to do as well as he did. Now, the rookies they drafted this year, Arnett, watching some film on him, this young man, even with the slower 40, his technique makes him a better corner than he actually looked out to be numbers-wise. I'm actually more impressed with him watching some footage on him than I actually was coming out of when he got picked. Henry Ruggs, I still think was not the receiver for them to take. I still think they should have took Judy. I believe that was the better receiver to take. But you know what? The Raiders do what the Raiders do. Max Crosby had a good year last year, and he was a hit. I don't know if it was a fluke. I don't know if it was, hey, he was a great pick. We will find out to see how he does. The Raiders are a team that can be, they're fluid. They could be anywhere from the bottom of this division to the second place team in this division because it depends.
What type of take is that? Like you make a stance. Make a damn stance. You're either gonna shit on the team or you like no, they can be bad or they can be good. Take a damn stance.
Pick a side, mother.
Okay.
I need to know how I'm coming. Yeah.
You don't want me to take a stance? The fucking bottom. No, I believe the
Hey,
Raiders.
in Hud's
I
words,
believe
I know I'm talking out of both sides of my
that's
neck.
my mouth. You know what I'm saying?
On my
Listen,
mouth.
at the end of the day, all jokes aside, if I'm gonna make a stance, I'm gonna say the Chargers finish last. I'm gonna say the Raiders finish second. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say the Raiders finish second.
A
I gave you a
respectable
hard
9-7.
I'm gonna say 9-7, 8-8 for the Raiders.
You know what? I appreciate that, fellas. Like, if for once y'all actually like talking some sense, you know what? So I will talk correctly this time too. 13-3 is what we're gonna do. 13-3. I see us losing in 3 games just because, hey, I don't understand COVID completely. We don't know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna concede 3 games just to COVID. But other than that, right, we just going like we lights out this time. The Broncos have left a door open with Von Miller. Like, nobody's scared of them no more. Von Miller's out there. That's what stood him up. Their defense. He was unstoppable. I ain't gonna lie about that. But he's gone out for the season. Chargers. I don't get how y'all saying they're even was in competition with the Raiders. Do you agree that we're a better team this year than we were last year? On like just off the moves and stuff we made off season.
What's your safety's name?
Jonathan Abram.
Yeah, he can ball.
Eric Harris.
He can ball, but you guys weren't the best defensively last year. You know what I mean? That's
it was
what my worry
play.
is.
Linebacker play when we went and got Corey Littleton and we got Nick Kukowski, and then we just picked up old boy from Miami as well to add to that. And then that was like the number one thing we addressed. We addressed that first off and early. Like, we knew that we could stop the run, but we was horrible in pass coverage, and we have went to alleviate that and correct that problem. And I think that's the number one thing we attack. So
I've seen you guys in the flesh, and I fully agree with you guys being a team that's formidable. Now, can you put it together and win when you're expected to win? Because by you saying 13-3, you have to win the games that are on your schedule that you expect to win, which, yes, like I said earlier, your schedule is very favorable.
Yes.
Very favorable, but
very
are
favorable.
You guys
got a tough
that
schedule.
Team? You have a tough schedule and you're going to go 13-3?
Yeah, because I feel like we got that much improved. But we got the Bills, like we got the AFC East, and then we got we still have got to see the Kansas City Chiefs twice. We got the Broncos twice, and then Chargers is going to be just like we wipe the floor with them every time. But we also got to see Tampa Bay. We got to go see the Saints. Like, so.
To me, we got to play NFC South this year. So, and there's 3 teams in NFC South that I believe could, on any given day, you never know who you're going to play, who you're going to get.
Right, because what is that stat? Like, every year for the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years, there's been a new NFC South champion. Like, you never know what you're going to get. So, I mean, like I said, man, that AFC East is, while we said we're kind of low on it, like, those games I expect you guys to win. But at the same time, the Raiders and what I've known from watching the Raiders over the past few years, those are games that you guys lose.
This is not those Raiders no more. This is John Gruden Raiders. And those games, we win now. We win. It was the only reason we lost those type of games last year was because of the refs. Like, you go back and watch that Jacksonville game, it was clearly the refs that did that. Like, come on, man. Like, hey, you go back and watch the ending of that game, and
I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to even
but
lie
if you do it, like, you would totally agree. The refs did us in on that. 2 years ago, the refs did us in with Dallas game with that piece of paper. It's a first down. Like, get out of here. Nonsense, man. Like, we have that battle to fight. But I think with a new stadium, new personality, more focused team, the way John Gruden is coaching up these young guys, the people that Mayock is picking out to be a part of this team as strong-minded football people that just want to keep their head down and just play some good, hard-hitting football. And that's what we're going to get out of the Raiders this year. That identity is changing, people. Get on the bandwagon. It's happening. Raiders are going to the playoffs. We are back, and we are here to stay. Next year, y'all will not be disrespecting the Raiders.
And with that said, what's the next conference we're going to? I don't think there's nothing left to be said on that.
So real quick, before we leave the AFC, let's say who goes to the AFC Championship?
The Raiders.
I have. Oh, okay. The Raiders, and who else?
Who else?
The Raiders versus probably gonna be Baltimore.
Okay. What about you, Hud?
AFC Championship. I actually don't have the Raiders, surprisingly enough. Silly me. I actually have the Kansas City Chiefs going against the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship.
I have the same pick.
I don't disrespect y'all picks just because Pat Mahomes is a bad man. Like, I'm not gonna lie about that. At quarterback, he's very like he was down 20-something points in 2 games and came back. Like, it's ridiculous. Like,
Gotta respect it.
You gotta respect that. I definitely respect that, and I think that's gonna be our biggest competition coming out the West. That's the most you will ever get me to talk nice about the damn Chiefs.
You don't say, Prez. You don't say. Oh man, but I agree with you, Hud. I got nothing else to add to that. Those should be the top 2 teams, and I can't wait to see
and
that.
who wins?
The Raiders.
Got to have who goes Super Bowl?
The
Ravens.
The Raiders.
I got the Ravens.
Also, here's one last thing, and we don't have to belabor on this point here. I would love to see another clash of. I mean, it's the first game. You know what? But by the time you guys are watching this or whatever, Houston and Kansas City or Houston and Baltimore, I would love to see some of these quarterbacks in the AFC face off in the playoffs. Like, it's just gonna be like a dope thing to watch, in my opinion, man.
You'll see Derek ball out. Derek gonna ball out. Carr MVP this year. MVP Derek Carr.
So we done with the AFC.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We're done with the AFC real quick.
Man. So who you guys got in do we want to go off well shit, you already went to the championship, so we skip. You got it, Hood. NFC.
So let's go to the NFC. Let's start off and let's go on the same. Let's start off with the the NFC East. No, let's slay the NFC East.
Yeah, let's wait on greatness.
Let's start off with the NFC West. You have the San Francisco 49ers, you have the Rams, you have the Seahawks, and you have the Cardinals. Who wins the division? Go. Prez, we'll let you go first.
Seahawks, hands down. Like, man, like you don't put down Russell Wilson, man. Like, the dude is just like, he should have won it last year against the 49ers. I thought like he was made a good push on that. Like, hey, but they just had a lot of talent on that team. They got rid of some of that talent just a little bit on the offensive side. So, hey, I figure he definitely makes that push this year and just continues to solidify his name and greatness and on his way to a Hall of Fame career.
Okay, who you have, Cash?
I have to disagree with him respectfully because I just feel like, and taking into consideration like the NBA bubble and stuff like that, there's not going to be a lot of fans there as far as these games, right, when we're talking about it. So I'm just looking at it from a team aspect, like from top to bottom as far as on the offensive side, defensive, and special teams, who has the better squad. And for me, it's going to be the San Francisco 49ers. Like, again, this is another team. They were in position to win a Super Bowl. They let it slip out the grasp of their hands. They should have won that game. Let's be clear. However, the Seahawks are very formidable, and you can never count Russell Wilson out. Lord knows I hate Russell Wilson. Every time we play them, his little slithery ass gets out of our grasp, and he throws some bomb for 30 yards, 60 yards. I hate him. But I got to respect them. But I feel like those two teams will be in the playoffs again. 12-4 for the 49ers, 11-5 for the Seahawks.
So you know what? This doesn't happen often, but I got to agree with Prez. I'm going to Seattle Seahawks winning the division because that addition of Jamal Adams helps that defense tremendously. The boy is a dog.
Good Lord.
And you got to think about this. The San Francisco 49ers beat Seattle on the 1-yard line.
Yep.
That play happened on the 1-yard, and it was a bit controversial.
Yeah, like the other 1-yard line play, huh?
Yeah, that was controversial. And then, honestly, I don't know if y'all agree, but I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo outplayed his ability last year because he really managed a lot of games. They have a lot of weapons. They added Jordan Reed. They got Kittles. They have no receiver that anyone knows of. Pettis is probably and Deebo Samuels, but they don't have that real big play receiver. They got rid of Breida. They still have Coleman, and they have I can't say this kid's name, Morissette, the running back. Mm-hmm. So they have a two-headed monster, but I'm not sold on San Fran. I believe they kind of overachieved. Technically, and I'm not saying this as a fan. If Jameis Winston wasn't playing for them last year, Tampa should have beat them week 1. But Jameis Winston played for both teams. And that's just a fact. You know,
No, that's
He
not a
was
fact. You are
blind. He was
clearly a
blind.
fan.
He was legally blind, so let's not hold that against him, okay?
well, he don't play for my team no more. Y'all can talk about all you want now.
I mean, but
anyways.
you are clearly a fan. Like, I don't want to be a fan on this. Like, but
But
no
it was-
way, Jameis Winston.
Sometimes
beat
it's
him.
hard to let stuff go, Prez. You know how that go.
Yeah.
You should. So I definitely feel like Seattle actually wins this division. I believe San Fran does get a wild card berth, but I feel like San Fran does win this division. And then when I flip to the bottom of this division, first off, let's also take note that Jalen Ramsey just got that check, money in the bank, highest paid corner. And I don't even know if he's worth the money they just gave him.
Yeah.
5 years, $105 million. He just got that check. I still don't think that brings the Rams back to prominence. I think the bottom of the division, unfortunately, is still the Cardinals. A young, exciting team.
Can I say one quick thing
Go
about the
for it.
Rams? They have grossly mismanaged their whoever they paid, from Goff to Gurley to it's just, you just name it, Brandon Cooks, who they just traded. Like, a lot of the moves that they make don't make sense, bro. Like, and then now you go pay your cornerback to be the highest paid cornerback. And yes, he was very good in Jacksonville, but when he got to your team, was he really a game changer? But for the
He
amount of
played
time
well,
Cash.
it's just kind of crazy to me what they thinking with their GM and whoever's managing their books.
Cash. I think that has a lot to do with what the Raiders used to have to go through living in California. You got to overpay them just so they can get a decent amount of pay, because California just like taxes the hell out of it. Yeah, so if you're gonna get those type of players and those elite players to stay, you're gonna have to pay them where it's financially equivalent to anywhere else. So that's a good reason why I think they are overpaying, and they're going to constantly have these problems though because of it. Like, you can't hold on to that roster paying that much or build that roster up unless you're just going with you hit every rookie in the draft.
But what I would say for the Rams that is kind of like the only thing that they can keep people with is the culture and the location, right? Because Sean McVay is a very great young coach or whatever, went to the playoffs the first 2 years, missed the playoffs last year, of course. But I think that if they can kind of find a way to manage their books and bring in talent, kind of like you were referring to your team, Prez, as far as just finding hard-nosed, talented guys that are not divas, they can get back on track in that division. Now, I'm not saying that they automatically go to first from third to first, because I got them at third here, on my calculations, but I just think that they got to get that part of their evaluation right before they get back to prominence. I mean, damn, they're a year removed from the Super Bowl berth?
Yeah, I think that's definitely true, but I just think the bottom is still going to be the Cardinals, guys. I mean, it's not because they're a good team. I mean, not because they're a bad team. They're just in a very good division, facing some very good teams. And I wonder how long Aaron
you have
Donald stays
Seattle,
around.
you have the Rams. Who you saying is
San
third?
Fran. So I have in my order, I go Seattle, San Fran, the Rams, and then the Cardinals.
Same.
I didn't buy the San Fran last year, and I'm not buying it. They'll be over the Rams just because, like, I think Rams are bottom, but I think Cardinals make that step up. And then I don't have faith in Garoppolo. I don't.
Do you have both teams making the
Garoppolo.
playoffs? Do both of you gentlemen have both teams making the playoffs, the Rams and the Seahawks?
Yes. The Rams and the Seahawks. I have the
Sorry.
Rams.
Seahawks and the 49ers.
No.
Interesting. How about you, Hud?
I have the Rams. No, I have the Seahawks and the 49ers.
Both making the playoffs.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right.
But they got that new playoff. Like, it's a 7. Like,
Is that start this season or next
This
season?
season.
This season. So it's a chance that they made, like, but no, I still see the Cardinals over 49ers.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, man.
You said Cardinals over 49ers?
Yeah, Sherman was suspect last year. Garoppolo couldn't.
He played when it counted, though, bro.
But I'm gonna say he don't pull it off again this year, and he be that weak link on there. That player that teams are gonna exploit.
Hot take.
Yeah, so I definitely see them actually taking that over.
All right, so
Interesting
fellas,
take,
briefly,
fellas.
can y'all, for if somebody is under a rock and doesn't know what this new playoff format consists of, can one of you guys kind of briefly explain that to them in 1 minute or less?
Basically, we added an extra team to each division.
Yep.
So instead of 8 teams making it, there'll be instead of 6 teams making it, I think now it's going to be 7.
Yep.
Which means there will be an extra game, correct?
Yes, and only the first round team gets a bye now.
Too easy. So who do we have up next?
So we done went west. Let's take it up to the north. We are the north. In the NFC North, we have probably what I think is probably the most boring division in football. The Lions, the Packers, the Bears, oh my, and the who else in there?
What you mean who else in there? You forget one man, the Vikings, bro.
The Vikings, bro.
Didn't I say that? Oh yeah, the Vikings. All right. Who wins the division? Everybody thinks if Aaron Rodgers is healthy that the Green Bay wins the division.
Green Bay wins it hands down.
Okay, so that's what you go ahead, Perez. I'll let you take off with it.
Yeah, Green Bay wins hands down. Like, I mean, like they have did nothing but be consistent. And I think right now with the draft pick that Green Bay pushed a bit, it's gonna have Aaron Rodgers kind of pissed off. He's gonna go out there and show the world like why they didn't need to draft a quarterback first time. But Green Bay ain't gonna care either way. They still gonna get rid of his ass like right after this year. But I think he definitely makes that strong push.
All right, so you got Green Bay, Cash. Who you got?
I disagree with that point to a certain extent. I think he is going to ball out. However, that's going to extend his time in Green Bay because from what I'm hearing at training camp, the backup ain't looking too good. What's the young boy they drafted out of Utah State?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. I heard he isn't looking good at all. So I think even if he has a season the same as he had last year, over 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, what can you really do but keep him? You know what I mean? They made improvements. Now, you'd have to be a Green Bay fan. I'm not going to act like I know all of the different guys they got in the drafts that are steals because I don't care about Green Bay. However, on a surface level, I do believe in that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, and I know their defense was very good last year as far as doing what they need to do in opportune times to win 13 wins. You don't drop off that much in a year. So I have those guys at 11-5. However, they won't be winning the division. It will be the Minnesota Vikings. I believe from top to bottom, they're a better team on defense and offense. And that's my take. 11-5.
Hold up. But I mean, you got
Minnesota
the trio though. The trio in Green Bay is what's keeping them steady. You got Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Jones, and so you got that passing game with a steady ground game that's always there. As long as Jones stay healthy,
that's what I was about to say.
You keep everybody honest.
Could it really be considered?
If you keep everybody honest, and Aaron Rodgers is going to destroy.
Can it really be a trio if 2 to 3 aren't always available for most of the time?
I still got Green Bay winning the division. Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. And I think the bottom of the division is still the loaded Lions, even though they picked up Adrian Peterson. I believe I don't understand why they picked up Peterson.
I didn't see that. That wasn't hot.
Kerryon Johnson. They got Kerryon Johnson, and they still have the kid they drafted out of Georgia, Swift.
He's injured.
Drafted Swift. So
both of them injured.
Maybe that's why they picked up Adrian Peterson.
That's exactly why they picked him.
But I still think that
ain't
Detroit
that shit
is
sad
to
though?
The bottom.
Quick tangent. Don't stay on this long. Ain't that? Do you want to see AP wearing yet another jersey, fellas?
I definitely don't want to see him playing against the Vikings in that division. Do what they say what you want about him, but you still identify him with the Vikings.
A beast, one of the best to do it.
He was so nasty.
I hate to see it.
Remember when people was rushing to draft him in fantasy?
Hate to see it. Yeah, for years. Damn, man.
Yeah, man.
But if now if he can get to 850 to 950, 150 yards with Stafford being healthy, you never know because Stafford is still a baller and he's slanging that back.
Listen, Detroit finds a way to upset people every year. Detroit wins a couple games every year that they ain't got no business winning.
Not supposed to win. Yeah, man, but
so you never know. But I still think they're gonna be at the bottom of the division.
Stafford and Winston are cut for the same cloth. They never give up. They just slang that ball.
They do. Regardless. They do. All right. I think the North is set. Listen, I'm sorry, Cash. We got to go to the East. We have to go to the East.
Oh yeah, you could save your team for last.
You got to go to the East. You have the Cowboys, you have the Giants, you have the Washington football team.
Oh, I was,
And
I
you
was waiting on
have-
you to mess up.
Me too. Me too. I was just waiting to correct
Oh
them.
no, we don't do that around here. And we have the Eagles. Listen, I'm gonna start at the bottom. The Washington football team. You ain't got a
Whiffed.
name.
They whiffed. They whiffing.
You're the
Oh,
Washington football team. You don't have a name. Your team is surrounded by more controversy than anybody I've ever seen. Daniel Snyder needs to let it go. Poor Haskins, the boy could not have went to a worse situation. You got rid of, I don't know who's on your team. And for me not know who on your team, that's saying a whole lot. Chase Young got drafted to a horrible situation. Montez Sweat, they got all the speed, but they got no talent.
who they running back right now? They got rid of AP. Geis was out before the season
Guys,
started.
yeah. They got this young kid they drafted. It's going to be a long year.
We'll see
in
week
Washington.
one who they have. To be honest, to be honest with you,
They ain't got a team name.
I will
or
let y'all
running back.
know week one who they have since we played them.
No
in-
team
in
name,
Washington.
no identity. They're
Now,
they're
who
the
we'll let
wins
you
this
know.
who wins this division? Cash, believe it or not, I'm not trying to be on your team. I'm gonna say the Eagles just because I refuse to root for the Cowboys.
I'll
It's
take it
purely-
any way it comes. I'll
It's
take it.
purely personal. The Cowboy fans are so arrogant. There's a group of fans that probably are the worst in football. 49er fans, Cowboy fans, and Prez. They're the worst.
Prayers only. Just prayers only.
Not all Raider fans, just Prez. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles, but that's all going to depend on Sakatumi, Carson Wentz, who can't seem to stay healthy. If he can't be healthy, the Cowboys will win the division. If I'm being objective, excuse me. If Carson Wentz can't stay healthy, then the Cowboys will win the division again. So that's all going to depend on the health of Carson.
Yeah,
And I
it
noticed
wasn't
that you
for a
have
cheap
a
shot.
Eagles jersey on today. Whose jersey is that?
This is Shady McCoy. This is the
Oh.
jersey I wore when we won
Buccaneers.
that Super Bowl. Yeah, this is the shady. Yeah, this is the jersey I won when we won that Super Bowl. So this jersey will never,
I feel you.
ever leave my possession.
I
I'll
think
be
I'm just
wearing
saying.
this shit forever.
I'm just saying. I just want to make note on record that you wearing a Buccaneer. All right, cool.
Does that
It's-
make? Hold up.
He wanted
That
to be an
makes
Eagle, but we wouldn't take
that
him
makes
back.
that makes perfect sense. So you were wearing that jersey, because y'all still win. Y'all won a Super Bowl in it. Is that why HUD wears that jersey all the time?
Oh no, but
Huh.
just in case people forgot, I just want to show y'all this this thing. Right there.
But coming out of the, I got the Cowboys coming out of this. As much as I hate the Cowboys fan, hey, their team is ready. They're built for it. And I think
CeeDee Lamb was a huge pickup too, man. That
CD Lamb was a
steal.
huge pickup. Dak Prescott everybody's getting their payday. You got Deshaun Watson getting his payday. You done got Mahomes. All that's left is Dak Prescott. He's still playing for that long term. He got to go out and prove again.
He's getting paid this year. Let's
He's
be
getting paid.
honest.
He's getting paid this year, but he don't have that long-term contract. He don't have that stability that they got over there, and that's what he wants. So I think he goes out here, shows out, balls out, and they take over this division like they should have last year. Because like on paper, they look like they should have been the team, but they wasn't. But adding those other key pieces, they lost a lot on the defense, but I think their offense takes it up another notch, and they just like go out there and just sling it around.
Well, I tell you what, I agree, Cash. Now it is definitely your turn.
Absolutely. Thank you for giving me this turn here and this privilege. But anyway, man, look at the bottom, of course, is Washington. Then you have the Giants and, of course, Cowboys. They're a formidable opponent. CeeDee Lamb, all their receivers, that's something to look out for. Elliott, Dak, they got the offense that's going to give us some challenges. What we did address that in the secondary, you know what I mean? So I feel like Darius Slay is going to be a welcomed addition. Like I said, it's bombs over Baghdad with my team, man. Like, we could stop the run. We were top 5, but damn it if we couldn't stop anybody in the air. I found some kind of crazy stat. It was like something like we allowed the most 30-yard passing yards in the league. And this was over the course of the last 10 years or some shit like that. So, but as an Eagle fan, you know that we haven't had a really good secondary for years. You know what I mean? Last time we had a good secondary, Andy Reid was the coach. You know what I mean? So with that said, man, I'm glad we shored it up with Darius Slay. However, I am weary of thinking that one or two pieces is going to fix something, because you remember when we had that little team where we supposed to go to the Super Bowl, Nnamdi Asomugha, the dream team, and that shit didn't work out because, you know, Nnamdi was a guy that played well, but he came to our system.
He played well in man.
He played well in man, but he didn't play well in zone, in which we played at the time. So with that said, man, I just hope that we come together in the secondary. That's the only question, man. We can.
Darius Slay was a huge get for y'all, though.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he's everything that everybody says he is. I'm not gonna lie and act like I watched a lot of Lions football. I didn't.
He is.
Nobody does.
He's nice.
He's nice, but you know, I've read all the rankings and saw his film, and I've done the research. But you know, great, you did that for Detroit. Can you do that for the Eagles? That's all I'm concerned with. Can you continue on, right? And will they put him in the best position? Now, moving on to the offense, Carson Wentz finally played a full season, okay, and he still made magic with what he had. Come on, we were getting guys that would come in. We were finding HUD and let me go find Prez in the parking lot, and he made it do what it do for us to get to the playoffs. We had to win our last 4 games, and we did and got in. If it wasn't for that goddamn cheap shot, who knows what would have happened? And that's by your boy that just got signed by the Titans. HUD. If it wasn't for that cheap shot and him going out on a concussion, who's to say we wouldn't have won that game?
Cheap shot.
Yo, look at it again, and you would be hard pressed to tell me it wasn't a cheap shot. It's a
Y'all kept the wrong quarterback. Nicky Foles.
Oh no, because Nick Foles he can't even beat out freaking
Come on, bro. He can't even
Mitchell
beat
Trubisky for the starting job.
I don't know. That. And this is the second stop he hasn't beaten out a guy for the starting job.
He won it down there in Jaguars. He got injured,
and he never got his job back, bro. So what does that say to you? They didn't even re-sign him. Y'all gotta stop that. Like Nick struck in an opportune time, and I thank you for the championship and getting us there. But don't act like Carson didn't lead majority of that way, and he took the baton and went, as you would want for all your team as well. If Carr gets hurt, you want the guy to step up and win you a championship. Same thing for Brady, right?
I agree.
Okay, so I'm not rooting against him. All I'm saying is he's not a starting quarterback material. Period. So what I'm saying is, if our wide receiving core can stay healthy, we are on par with the Dallas Cowboys in their draft of CD Lamb and stuff like that. So I think Miles Sanders is good, but the injury bug has bitten us, and that begs me to kind of value how good is our fucking damn training staff, man. You know what I mean? Like every fucking year, we are the most ravaged team as far as injuries go. Like, what's going on here? Like, are we getting the right smoothies? Like, do we need to get the Rams involved here and get us the Smoothie King? I mean, what's going on? Our bones is brittle. We can't stay still. You know, like, so that's my only thing with the Eagles, because I can't really predict what we should do. Like, I would say something outlandish like 13-3, but I'm a realist and I'm not pressed. Eagles fans, we're going 10-6. But we're gonna win this division.
You still ain't.
If we don't win this division, stand down, Prez. It's my time to shine. We are going to make the playoffs, regardless. We may be that 7th team in, or we may be the NFC East champs. Either or, we're gonna do damage, and then we're gonna get in. Like will not. I'm a double negative. We will not be one of them 7 teams in the playoffs. Book that shit.
Sounds like a plan. So listen, I think the East has spoken, and let's take it down to the dirty.
Yes.
NFC South. You have the Falcons, the Saints, the Panthers, and the Bucks. And I will go last. And Prez, I will let you go first. So who wins the division?
The Saints, hands down. Like nobody was like, I don't even know why they entertaining this other team, this strong to get a team. Every year we have somebody who goes out and wins free agency. Guess what? Your Buccaneers won free agency. They got every name out there. They went and got every damn name. That shit never works. It never works. Brady will get injured and they will go down and they don't have anything else. They got a bunch of names that are attached to what they used to do. We talking about what they doing this year, and I don't think they're going to prove anything. But what the Saints has is consistency. They have the same damn team that they always had. They got Drew Brees, who's out there chasing record after record. He's waiting on your guy, and that's the whole reason he won't retire, is because he know Drew Brees will break every damn record he got. So that's what's going on right there. And then I think Atlanta stepped it up a notch, and they're going to do it. But I think so it's going to be Saints, Atlanta, Bucks, and then the other team.
The Panthers. Okay.
Yeah, the other, I'm not even going to respect that, the other team, because they did a bunch of dumb moves. They got rid of Cam Newton. They went and hired some new coach, and they went it through Teddy Bridgewater over. It's just stupid with that other team. Like the other team. That's what they'll be called. Just like with Washington, they don't have a name to me no more.
Okay. Cash, go your turn, sir.
I'm gonna toss it back to you real quick, just for a question. So, what was the other conference you said is the most competitive in the AFC?
We said the AFC West.
And do you still feel like that overall is the most competitive conference?
It's one of them. It's
okay,
one of
because
them.
I believe that yours is the most
is
competitive.
another one.
And the reason being is just because Atlanta was down last year, that doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be the case this year. Their defense was horrible last year, but they also had a lot of defensive guys that were out for the season as well. So people don't know that, but at the same time, I really don't put these guys at the bottom. Of course, it's going to be the Panthers, in my opinion, but the Falcons are the wild card, because I originally had you guys coming into this thinking that it's going to be two teams out of the South that make the playoffs. But I think you guys are going to beat each other up, to be honest with you, in this division. And I'm going to go with the model of consistency. And that model of consistency is Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm going to drink the Kool-Aid. I'm not betting against Tom Terrific.
Die on that bed.
I'm willing to lay on that bed of needles.
And you die right there.
Tom has not failed me yet. Bruce Arians is a coach that has been tried and tested. Okay, he has a Super Bowl run in him. I think he knows how to manage all these egos that he has, and the ball got to go somewhere. I think they're talking about it right now as we speak. Hey, ain't no one man bigger than a team. And as long as these guys go as Tom Brady goes and keep him upright, because Perez, you keep pointing to injury. And that's one thing that I'm like, wow, why does Perez always want this guy to be injured or want a team to be injured? You know what I mean? But outside of that, you haven't provided your point to say that
he is old.
Okay,
he
but
is old.
When has he had a history of injury, brother?
It doesn't happen to everybody.
Just answer me a question.
So what happened to Brett Favre this time? What happened to Brett Favre this time? What happened to Vinatieri last year?
When is the last time Tom has
Father
missed
time
significant
is
time?
Undefeated. Father time is undefeated.
That's a cliche. Explain yourself based on the metrics.
He done wait. He's
when
playing with
Tom
fire.
Been
It's going on too long.
injured?
It's not gonna happen.
When the last time Tom been injured outside of his knee been taken out in
it
that
was
first
about his
game of the
knee.
season?
Yeah,
That was it. You know how many years ago that was?
Yeah.
Okay, so my point is, you think these boys Tampa Bay has invested a lot of money in that old line, brother? I don't know if you noticed.
He's old, bro.
Okay.
It's gonna happen.
But listen to what he does. He does the same exact shit that we give Aaron Rodgers grief for. As soon as he see the pressure coming, he throw that bitch out of bounds. Like, he don't take hits like that. That's why he's been able to stay upright all these years and last at the age of 43. Listen, I don't like it like the next man, but I gotta keep it a buck. This isn't the Saints division to win. This will be the Bucks division to win, and they will win it at 11-5. The Saints will be 10-6. And that's all I got, Hud. I'm gonna toss it to you, brother.
Okay, so first off, I'm not gonna do what you think I'm gonna do and buck out. I'm not gonna do press. I'm gonna actually be a journalist. I'm going to start from the bottom. I do think it's going to be the Carolina Panthers. And it's not because the Carolina Panthers don't have a very good football team, because Christian McCaffrey is a matchup nightmare. Christian McCaffrey is probably the best running back in this conference, and actually probably one of the best running backs in the NFL. Like him, love him, or hate it, but he is. Teddy Bridgewater is taking advantage of doing well when Drew Brees was out.
On a great team.
On a good team. Very good team. Perez makes a lot of points about injury, about Tom Brady being old. Let me give you a little stat. Tom Brady is 16 months older than Drew Brees and has only played 3 more games than Drew Brees has, but yet you never talk about Drew Brees getting hurt.
Drew Brees got hurt. That's what got him to the Saints.
But hold on. Yet I've never seen you talk about Drew Brees being hurt. So is this a personal attack against Tom? Are you being objective?
Hell yeah, it's a personal attack against Tom. You know that. I ain't never been shy about that. Hey,
just want to make sure.
Bullshit my Raiders back in the day.
So let's talk about Atlanta.
Tucker.
Let's talk about Atlanta. Atlanta is, as long as they have this guy named Julio Jones, they are a problem. Matt Ryan is still a productive quarterback, and they can win. They can easily win this division just as well as anybody else. Will they win this division? I don't think so, but they can. Them signing Todd Gurley, if Todd Gurley is healthy, that improves their running game tremendously. Their defense is still suspect. Atlanta, for some reason, refuses to address the defensive side of the ball. So that's why I still see them finishing third. The Saints, they made some free agent acquisitions that I believe they're about to re-sign Kamara. Their biggest signing was Emmanuel Sanders, which he's a very productive receiver. He did wonders for San Francisco last year. And he gives somebody to take a little bit of pressure off Mike Thomas, who's a phenomenal wide receiver. But I don't
discount his time on the Broncos, too.
No, he did
that, too.
Very, very good receiver. So I believe the Saints are a good team. Let's go to the Kings of this division, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You said that Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be great because they made all the splashes in free agency. Sir, we signed 3 people.
I never said they were going to be great.
You said we made all these signings. We signed 3 people. You're upset that we signed
Grunt,
1 and Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, 3 people. So, but you made it sound like we signed a whole team. You're just mad because one of the people that we signed's name is bigger than anybody on your roster.
No, y'all just signed Rosen too.
To the practice squad, sir. I mean, since when? Since when are we getting crucified for practice squad players?
Where did Shady go?
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth is my time.
Where did Shady go?
Shut your mouth. Oh yeah, McCoy. Yeah.
I'm just proving you wrong. That's all I'm saying. You don't even know your own damn team.
You're not proving me wrong. You're just upset that we're signing people to minimum contracts and they're playing for us and that they won't play for the Raiders. Okay, not my fault. You're taking arguably, in my opinion, arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, and you're supplying him with probably the most explosive offense he's ever had. And you can debate that all you want, but you can never tell me a Patriot team that he had this much firepower.
I can.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I can.
When he had Randy.
Randy
Moss, Randy Moss 50 plus TD.
He had Randy Moss, and who else?
Don't matter.
He had 50 TDs.
That's a better receiving core.
We're going off one. Okay, you can't say Randy Moss is better than Godwin, Evans, Gronk.
Yes, the hell I can.
Howard, and Brate. Your name.
He's a Hall of Famer. Name one of them that's a Hall of Famer. They working on it.
Give it time.
We'll talk about this in 20 years. Right now, Randy Moss is better.
He has a damn. He's a verb.
Listen,
Mauston. Come on, man. Show that man some respect, man.
The greatest quarterback.
I can't see the number. Is that a 1? I see a 1 on the shoulder there. You got a Cam Newton? Oh.
1-2. His name is Brady. He plays for Tampa.
He got a Tampa jersey.
Yeah, he does. And I'll be ordering it soon. Amazon's a little slower than normally used to be. What I need you to understand is this Tampa Bay football team has no choice but to do well. It really has no other choice. Defensively, they were actually in the top 5 the last 8 games of the season. The problem is when you have a quarterback throwing 30 picks, 6 of them for pick sixes, losing 5 fumbles. You can't win football games that way. You have a quarterback now who's never, ever thrown over 14 interceptions. And this team went 7-9 with 30 interceptions. 7-9 with 30 interceptions. And now you add a Rob Gronkowski, you add a running back like Leonard Fournette, a third down pass catcher like LaShawn McCoy. Even if LaShawn McCoy never touches the field, what he knows up here and can pass on to these young players is going to be phenomenal. Tampa Bay has no choice but to win. Not only will they win, record-wise, we're going to lose some games because there is, like you said, it is a new team. So I don't see us going 16-0, and we won't go 13-3. I'm not going to sit out here and I'm going to be a realist.
Thank you.
Tampa Bay goes worst case 10-6, best case 12-4. That's where we live at. We will make the playoffs. We will win the South because in the South you're not finna go 13. Those days of 13-3 ain't happening no more. It's the division is just too damn good. So Tampa Bay not only makes the playoffs, they will win the NFC South. And when you start talking about NFC championship predictions, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Seattle Seahawks. And I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to the Super Bowl, beating the Baltimore Ravens in Tampa. Tampa Bay is your Super Bowl champions. My mic's on a stand, so I can't drop it. So I just
in this thing, man. Like this dude.
Well, who you got? Who you got going to the NFC Championship and going to the Super Bowl? Press.
Oh, the
you gonna say the Raiders?
No, the Saints.
Okay, who's gonna be the guys that they face in the championship?
Cowboys.
Okay.
And who's going to the Super Bowl?
No, I said the Saints.
And who they facing in the Super Bowl?
The Raiders.
And who going to the Super Bowl?
The Saints versus the Sinners. Las Vegas. Raiders. Hands down.
Okay.
We keeping the tradition alive in Vegas. What happened to the hockey team in Vegas?
Well, instead of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I guess the term here
worldwide.
Is what happens in Prez's mind stays in Prez's mind.
Prez's mind.
That shit is not.
Go ahead,
happening.
Cash.
Look, in the NFC Championship, I got that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Eagles just don't have enough this year to get there. And I hate to say it. I wish like hell they do, but I just don't think they have enough this year to get there. Coming out of that, it should be Tom Terrific going to the Super Bowl, and he will be met with yet another L to the Kansas City Chiefs. Or Baltimore Ravens. Whatever, you take your pick, but they won't beat either one of those teams.
I'll tell you what, gentlemen. First off, this has been a very interesting show. Prez, you have not disappointed. Now, listen up for all our viewers out there. We got some other hot takes coming from some of our other listeners who decided to send some film in. We're going to definitely get those out. We'll be posting those on our IG. We'll post them on this episode. You got to see some of their takes on their teams. Some of them, they kept it real. Some of them, they're Prez's friends. So you know what that means. So, fellas, I mean, I think we did our thing, man. So I don't know what else left. I don't know what else left we got to talk about. Y'all got anything for the people?
Yeah, y'all say 16-0 is outrageous. 13-3 is still outrageous. And what is normal to y'all? Where do y'all see the Raiders? Can I get that?
Raiders, honestly, but can I give you a best case, worst case?
Yeah.
Best case for the Raiders. Best case, 10-6. My expectation, 8-8. Worst case, 6-10. That's my full gamut Raiders.
I said what I said. I ain't.
If you still ain't drafted, or I'm pretty sure they still out there. Go ahead and pick up Brian Edwards. The dude is going to be a beast. He's going to catch everything. Carr is taking a liking to him, very similar to how they took to Waller last year. I think Waller going to still go out there and do his thing, but Brian Edwards is about to come out and ball this year. He is going to be hands down rookie of the year for. Ain't gonna be no competition.
Hey, don't draft anybody on the Eagles. If you're listening here, I'm here to tell you as an Eagles fan, don't draft anybody. Don't expect a whole lot of points from any of our guys. If we get wins, we get them. But it won't be anything flashy. It'll be hard fought.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. If you want to draft somebody from Tampa, find the shortest white guy at wide receiver and draft him. Tom Brady got a way of throwing to those guys, man. Julian Edelman. The next Julian Edelman is either Scotty Miller or Justin Watson, man. But listen, before we get too deep in this, y'all, guess what? We did our thing, and it's time to shut this thing down. From our couch to y'all's. We hope the season goes well. We will be back. And this year, we're going to keep up with our weekly predictions.
Oh, yeah, we got to do that. We put the graphics up of our current records.
Who is what, who is where, and how bad the Raiders lost.
We much better. We much more advanced this year. We keeping the tallies going.
So next, actually, did we do week 1?
No, but we'll come back on Sunday because we got a pod on Sunday.
Well, go ahead and give us the Thursday prediction.
Thursday prediction. Just Thursday.
It's Chiefs versus Texans.
I got the Chiefs.
All right, Perez, what you got?
I got the Chiefs.
I got the Texans. There we go. Got to do something different. Switch it up.
Well, there we go. Y'all got our week 1. Well, what's y'all week 1, man? Comment, like, share. Hit us up. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you at, we at. So from our couch to yours, y'all have a good night. Remember, there's no couch like the one that you don't sleep on with DSC. From Hadrico to Prayers to Cash, we out.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record.